KPOA 105.9, the Big Kahuna, Honolulu's only classic rock. Dave Lawrence with you, the Workforce Afternoon. And thank you for being on board. We're lucky during a week of giving away the new Government Mule CD, Deja Voodoo, to be joined by their founder, also from the Allman Brothers Band, and the Dead now, and a buddy for a long time, singer, songwriter, guitarist Warren Haynes. Aloha, brother.
How are you, man?
I'm very good.
Yeah, you digging the Maui thing?
Yeah, well, Oahu. I'm still here. I'm on Oahu, but
yeah.
But I'm very much loving living out here, and
Good. What's happening?
it's a pleasure to welcome you back to the show here. You were on with us last year, and thank you so much for taking more time.
Absolutely.
You're the man. We've really been enjoying the first single from Deja Voodoo, Slackjaw Jezebel. How did you come to decide? You have 12 songs to choose from, and I know you're a meticulous songwriter and craftsman. What was it that led to this? Was it a consensus or your feelings?
As far as it being the first single?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us had a gut feeling about it, myself and Michael Barbiero, our producer, co-producer, engineer, and the record company and management, everybody kind of putting their heads together and feeling out which one, seems like would be well received. We're a long-winded band, so we don't have a lot of options. A lot of the songs are too long.
So with this tune, okay, I want to tell you what I picture in that song lyrically, because I've been very much into the tune and thinking about it and stuff. And then you can tell me how on or off base I am. I could be wildly off base, but regardless of that, I just want to explore it like that with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, because the thing is, it's more important what people think it's about than what it's about anyway. I can remember a lot of my favorite songwriters telling me what their songs were about, and what I thought it was about was so much cooler.
And I just had Roger Daltrey on the show just a little ways back. The Who was in town, and he spent a bunch of time with me, and he said the same thing about people interpreting some of the complicated Who records, and this is a different kind of song, however, here.
Yeah.
So in Slackjaw Jezebel, I get that the main character in the story, like the you that's singing, is singing about how he ends up letting this black widow into his life, as Stevie Nicks might have said, a gold dust woman, who in my mind is this like skinny little hippie girl temptress, who is like a mermaid, seductive yet trashy, spellbinding, and obviously a very dangerous girl. Now, how am I doing so far?
I think you're batting 1,000 so far, man.
You're an animal. I thought I was on. I thought I was on this thing, Warren. And
that's pretty much it. He can't help himself. It's just too strong. Man.
And some of the lyrics in there, and something's changed. I have to admit it. I ain't been the same since you came around. I wish you'd never have flagged me down. Twisted Angel, sent down here to pull me out of my shell. Is that what you say there?
Yeah, in the first chorus. Yeah.
That is what you say?
Yeah.
So, okay, so my questions, I got a lot of questions, seeing how I was right about this one.
Right on it.
Is this an actual...
maybe that happened to you, Dave.
It actually did, Warren, and much more recently than I'd even want to admit.
Gotcha. All right.
And so, is this an actual person that existed in your life? Can you say that?
I conjured up a combination. I love to do that when I'm writing songs, is create a character based on a composite of a lot of different characters and put them all together, because I feel like it's stronger that way. You can cover more ground, and a lot of writers tend to do that. It's not like I'm doing anything unique, but she's a composite of a lot of people.
Okay, so that's important to know. But it sounds like in this composite, so one of the influences that this Slackjaw Jezebel had was you came away from it a changed person. Not
so much for the better.
Not so much for the better. and so the person was like a sinful indulgence that you never should have done.
Yeah, we've all fallen for that person that we knew was wrong, but it just felt too good, so you couldn't stop. It's one of those kind of things.
Yeah, I couldn't have stopped you if I tried. Spell you were casting way too heavy. It's remarkable. And another one that I really love, because it's what we have here with the song, and again, this is Warren Haynes from Government Mule, Allman Brothers Band, and the Dead on the Workforce Afternoon with me. What we have here in the song is it's like a story. It goes from one point to another, for me at least. And part of what gives it that movement, Warren, is the part in the end. You're like, I wonder how I got myself in, wheels spinning faster, and I know I got to jump off. So it's like, you figured out you had to cut this demon loose.
Yeah, pretty much. You reach that point where, whatever it takes, you got to get the hell out.
Listen to my man. It's an amazing song, and I think
thank you.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. It's and I think it's one of those songs, Warren. It has that ability, as you pointed out a couple of things. One, I mean, you're singing about stuff that a lot of people have been through things, parts of what you've just said they've been through, or they've been through the whole story.
Oh yeah.
Or different elements of it ring true for folks. And then the other thing that you said that was enlightening is, the genius of the song is it's a composite. It is not one person that you went through an experience with, yet you've drawn together these various elements that create a person that when, as a listener, you get sucked right into it.
Well, on the road, you get a lot of characters, You see a lot of characters that you can utilize in these story-type songs. And as you know, I write a lot of story-type lyrics, A lot of my lyrics tend to be that way, and so the road's a good place to conjure up those images,
And it is a seductive little skin and bones, I think you call it, hippie girl person, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Man, it's what a crazy moment this is.
Very perceptive of you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Well,
like I say, maybe we're a little too close to the bone for you there.
Well, I've been admiring your work for I'm scared to say like a decade and a half almost now, and so I listened to it pretty closely. And when I had this song and we were first starting to play it here, and I was listening to those words, I said, "Listen to Warren here. Not only is this a catchy song, but I think this is one that a lot of people are going to relate to." And with that in mind, Warren, let me throw that one down, and then we'll come back and talk some more. Is that cool?
You got it.
You're the man. Government Mule, Allman Brothers Band, the Dead guitarist, vocalist Warren Haynes is my guest, and from Government Mule's latest CD, Deja Voodoo, the song we've been talking about, Slackjaw Jezebel. It's a current classic on K-Poi 105.9, The Big Kahuna. K-Poi 105.9, The Big Kahuna, Honolulu's only classic rock, The Workforce Afternoon. Dave Lawrence with you. And that is a current classic from Government Mule's Deja Voodoo CD, out now. And Slackjaw Jezebel, the title, a powerful story about letting I guess you'd say a very dangerous thrill ride of a woman into your life. Amazingly true life stuff. And Warren Haynes of Government Mule, the Allman Brothers Band, and the Dead, my special guest, whose music it is. It's a fine piece of work, Warren. I appreciate you hanging in there with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome. And when I first got to meet you, it was you were working the Fire in the Kitchen tune, and remember that back in the...
Absolutely, 93.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, 92, 93 era, and you were doing the Warren Haynes Band, and you had a very cool keyboardist from that era, and now sounding dynamite, I might add, on Slackjaw Jezebel and throughout the record, as a member of the Mule, Danny Lewis.
Yeah, Danny goes way back with me, and he's just been a close associate of Government Mule pretty much throughout our career. Between him and Andy, they've just really kind of brought the band back to a place that Matt and I were uncertain we would ever reach again. I mean, everybody feels wonderful about where the music is right now.
That's awesome, man, and I'm really happy to hear that. When I think about your life, it seems like it might be tough juggling. You're doing 3 big projects now. Is it difficult finding the time that you want to put into each of them?
Well, it's a lot of scheduling for sure. My year started out with Government Mule in January, February. In March, I was doing the Allman Brothers. In April, I had a little bit of time off. In May, rehearsing with the Dead. June started Bonnaroo, which was the Dead tour. Mm-hmm. That went right up to the Allman Brothers tour. And then at the end of that tour, back to the Dead, back to the Allman Brothers, and here I am now. Here we are in September. Then I rehearse a few days with Government Mule and go out on the road to promote Deja Voodoo. So it's been one of those years, probably the most busy year of my life. but where I'm just constantly going from one thing to the next. But, to have these kind of choices and turn them down would be the foolish part, I think,
No,
Everybody asks me about it, but it's like when you think about it, you have to take advantage of situations, especially in a business like the music business. You got to do it while it's there, because you never know when the tides are going to turn, when the wind's going to change directions,
I remember going in a van with you, taking you to the airport in '93, in like March of '93, and this was like Brothers time, and you were talking about we were talking about the Dead and the Brothers, and wouldn't it? Because we were talking about it because it was coming up on the anniversary. It would be 20 years since Watkins Glen, I guess, is how the discussion came around, and I remember it's surreal to remember that conversation now, because we were talking about would the Brothers and the Dead play together and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and now
it finally happened.
Yeah,
we did the Gorge in Washington State. The Allman Brothers and the Dead together for the first time since then.
Yeah.
And here I am in both bands.
It's crazy that you're in that. How was the Wave That Flag tour? Is there a favorite venue that now that when you look back on it?
Well, the Gorge is beautiful. Red Rocks is always a highlight. It rained a lot at Red Rocks this year, so that made it a little tougher. But the crowd amazingly stays there, and the tour in general was really good. Bonnaroo was exceptional. It was a very cool tour, and I thought the band played some amazing music.
So Bonnaroo, the Gorge, and Red Rocks are the highlights, it sounds like.
Well, those are three that leap to
out.
mind. I don't know that those are necessarily the best shows we played, but three beautiful places to play.
5 nights at Red Rocks, too, right?
Yeah, that was amazing. Being there for a week was really cool, and a few of those nights were very special. There were a lot of great shows, but in a band like that, it changes more on a nightly basis. Most bands, you go see them, they do the same show every night. Of course, the Dead do a completely different show every night.
Yeah, big time.
And we did 5 nights at Red Rocks and repeated one song out of 5 shows.
Nice.
And that's playing 3.5 hours a night. So, it's a pretty amazing repertoire of material.
Yeah, it is. It's cool to hear you're finally in it, getting to play it. That's what's crazy. It's after all these years, Do you have a part of the set list? Does it represent like what you want?
They alternate.
Like how's it come up? How's the set list get done?
Well, Bob will write one night, Phil will write one night, Mickey will write one night, and then the new guys, which is me and Jeff and Jimmy, would write one night. And Jimmy wasn't really totally psyched about it. He didn't always feel like he needed to be part of it, but Jeff and I were really into it, and Billy doesn't really care either, so it was mostly that, Bob, Phil, Mickey, and then me and Jeff. But everybody has input, if they want to play a certain song or something like that, But it's interesting to see how differently each person's set lists are, and the reasoning behind them. Bob's sets are way different than Phil's sets, and Mickey's sets are way different than either one of them.
That's cool. Or just a couple more questions. I'll wrap this up with you, Warren. Are the Dead doing New Year's Eve, or what are you going to do for New Year's with these?
Now, the Dead are going to take New Year's off. Government Mule, it looks like at the Beacon Theater in New York.
Oh, cool. So that's how you're going to do it. Okay.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if it's completely confirmed, but that's looking more and more likely.
Well, we've been enjoying the recent One Way Out record, which has been a hit here, and people love the Midnight Rider from that. Is that designed to replicate an ABB set from that 13-night Beacon run?
It's just between 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
We only recorded and filmed 2 nights, and so we went through, myself and Michael Barbiero, the two of us co-produced the live record and the live DVD, and we went through all the selections from those 2 nights and just picked the highlights and put together a mock set, what would be a set, but maybe even a little longer. And the Allman Brothers are just in a really good place right now. The band sounds amazing. Everybody's getting along great. There's a lot of new material. It's just refreshing to see a band that's been around that long feeling as vital and revitalized as they are and we are.
You guys are kicking ass, man. You're good. You got all kinds of good stuff going on, Warren. It's crazy.
Well, I feel blessed every day.
And you're in one of those sort of like music industry power kind of relationships as well, where your wife Stephanie is like a powerful manager. So
yeah, and she really deserves a lot of the credit for juggling the schedules and making a lot of this stuff work. A lot of it I would have given up on. When the Dead came to me and said, "We want you to join up with us," I was like, "Well, I don't know if I have time to do it." And Steph was like, "Yeah, we can make it work. Let's just take it one step at a time, you know."
That's good of her. And I got to ask you, since I do have you here, what's the deal with these? Because I know she's managing Chris Robinson, right?
Uh-huh.
I hear these rumors that there's going to be a reunion with Rich and potentially using Mule musicians to fill out like a Crows thing. Is there anything to that, Warren?
No, I think Rich and Chris are talking about maybe getting back together, but that's as far as it's gotten. I think there's been no talk with Mule being part of it.
Okay, because that was just a buzz that I was hearing. So you've separated that, but there is talk of those two maybe doing something, huh?
Yeah.
That would be happening. And Warren, finally, no more questions, but I do want to just put a bug in your or an idea, a light bulb, something into your head. I'd love to have a gig out here with one of your 3 projects in Hawaii.
Hey, we love it. Government Mule especially would love to come. We're looking forward to it. We've only played one show in Hawaii ever, and it was a blast, and we'd love to come back.
Let's get the Mule here then. Let's work on that project. That would be the one, and then I can experience Slackjaw Jezebel live and in person.
Absolutely. I'm ready for it.
In the safety of a song, that is. Thanks to the great Warren Haynes of Government Mule, the Allman Brothers Band, and the Dead for being my guest. Deja Voodoo is the new CD. Look for it and listen for the provocative single, Slackjaw Jezebel, here on the air. Mule.net has more information. That's Mule.net, and it has been a pleasure having you back on my show on KPOI 105.9, The Big Kahuna, Warren. A big mahalo.
Good to talk to you.
And a huge aloha to you.
You too, brother.